Hi everybody and welcome to today's garden drills video. Sorry I'm a little bit late today. I've just done my 2-hour queue for the weekly shop at Tesco's, which wasn't too bad. People were being pretty helpful and nearly everything was back on the shelf. So good luck with your weekly shop this week. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can practice with your chipping in the garden. So the very first key thing is to get some of your key setup fundamentals right to help you to get the nice clean strike on the ball. So the first thing I want you to do is to make sure that when you grip the golf club, that with your right hand grip, you do not get tight in your thumb or your first finger here, because that can encourage the right hand to snatch and hit these shots and get too handsy. I want you to keep this pressure point we discussed about the other day, where you feel that the heel of the right thumb stays squeezed down onto the middle knuckle of the left thumb throughout the entire stroke. And by having that downward force here, not a tightness in the index finger, that helps to just keep the two hands working together, stops that right hand being overactive. The second fault that I see a lot in chipping setup is that people tend to aim their shoulders a long way left of the target, yet they still then instinctively, although the shoulders are left, swing towards the target. And by doing that, you create an in to out swing, which makes you much more likely to put the bottom of the swing further back, and now it's creating an upward swing which could cause you to either hit the ground before or to hit the ball on the up and thin it. So I really want you to make sure that when you chip, you keep your shoulders square to the target. You can drop your left foot back a little bit if you want to, but keep your shoulders square, and that's going to make it much easier for everything to swing together down the target line, and that's going to make the bottom of the swing more in the middle of your stance to get a chance to clip the ball first, then to clip the ground. The third big error I see in the setup position is that if people have been struggling with fats or thins, they instinctively tend to drop the ball a long way back in their stance opposite their right foot, but then without realising, they then lean their head back towards the ball, which puts their spine off at this funny angle, and again it promotes this upward scooping action, which again makes it very difficult to strike the ball cleanly. So keep the ball in the centre, keep your shoulders parallel to the target. If anything, you can even put your nose slightly in front of the ball so that your weight's slightly more over the left foot, but don't do it by pushing the hips forward. We don't want our spine this way. Keep the upper body forward, and now when we just rock our shoulders and arms through, keeping this pressure point here, you can see that the lowest part of the swing is going to be in the center to the left side of our stance. Now when you practice, I'd like you to practice on a tight mat rather than on the garden grass, because when it's longer grass, it's hard to tell exactly where the bottom of your swing is, because all of the grass can be moving. If you're practicing on a tight mat, you're looking to get that clip of the ground from the center of your stance and beyond into the left side of your stance. You don't want it to be a thud, you just want it to be a clip of the ground, but the left side. And if you can start to do that consistently, you're going to strike lots of consistent chip shots. So once you're starting to do that, you really want to make sure that every swing you make, you swing through and you hold your follow through for at least 3 or 4 seconds. I see so many people coming out of these shots very quickly. By holding the finish for 3 or 4 seconds, you can get the feeling of turning into your left side, clipping the ground beyond the ball, and really holding that finish. So that's what I want you to do, okay? Now, once you've done that, you're now going to be striking consistent chip shots. Now it's time you can do some really good practice in your garden. You don't need to see how it runs out. You can feel the quality of the strike, whether you struck the ground in the right place. You can observe ball flight and see if you can start to get a consistent ball flight, which will be an indication that you're striking it correctly. Once you've done that, you can then give yourself some targets by laying a small towel out at maybe 3, 6, 9, 12 yard intervals, and then testing yourself to see how many out of 10 you can land on your landing zone. And if you're striking it solidly, you're carrying it the right distance through the air, and you're starting to automatically make the right length of backswing, so that when you swing through and hold your longer finish, you carry it the correct distance through to land on your towel. You're going to be striking it solidly and getting your correct distance as well. So here we go. neutral right hand grip, shoulders parallel, weight forward, and now just turning through, holding the finish and seeing it land. That one landed 12 yards away. Okay, so have fun with your chipping and we'll see you tomorrow.